Hello and welcome to another Teamo8 hand review. Today we've got five hands actually, from a $27 no limit Omaha high-low multi-table tournament. This is the 27 Omania tournament. Anyway, let's get right into it. Here you can see the first hand. Our player is sitting there with just over 12 blinds. In MTTs, these work very differently to sit and goes, and sit and goes to some extent reward survival. At times it's perfectly acceptable just to limp into the cash. With MTTs, we're a long way off the money. They don't reward survival. Anytime we get down, we really can't afford to drop below 10 big blinds at all if we can help it. We should only ever end up in that short stack because we got crippled in a big pot. Somebody sucked out on us. In this case, with 12 blinds, we really need to be, when there are antes, I was going to say, below 15 blinds, you really need to be getting your whole stack in. Otherwise, the blinds and antes just eat your stack up so fast in these MTTs, and you'll have no chance of making a final table. And you have to make the final table to make money in the long run in these. Limbing into the cash really doesn't help you much. So let's see what our player does. Let's see what the action is. Okay, two limpers, and our player calls. Now, I really don't like this call at all. We've got a short stack, so we have very little in the way of implied odds. What we really should be doing here is we're in a shovel fold situation with a stack getting this low in an MTT. Really, what our player should do, I would favour a shove here. I certainly don't like trying to play a flop with this hand because, for a start, we're holding four hearts, which means we're holding two blockers to our own flush. But really, this should have been jammed or folded, and generally I would prefer a jam. Okay, here we are at the very next hand. Our player was forced to fold a flop on the last one. So again, we're in a similar situation, of course, down to about 11 blinds. This is an absolute shove. Let's see what our player does. Great. That's all you can do when your stack gets that short. Okay, let's move right along. Okay, here we are a little while later. Our player managed to chip up earlier. So what have we got? We've got about 16 blinds here and a nice hand. We definitely want to be getting chips into this pot. Let's see what our player does. Okay, a limp. I'm really not a big fan of this limp. When we've got a fairly small stack, really, with the hand this strong, this should be jammed. Limping here makes no sense. We're just allowing people to come in behind and basically, reduce our equity. Okay, so this player's raised. Oh, this is a good sign. Now we can raise all in. But he just calls out of position. This is a really bad play. We've lost the initiative in the hand. Let's see what happens. Okay, our low's been counterfeited. He checks. Opponent bets and makes a tiny bet. My guess is our opponent's either had his low counterfeited or he's got ace-4 and is trying to get another counterfeited low to come along with him. Our player folds. That's really weak play. And when we get low, I've said it before, we've got to chip up or go home. Everything about this hand I really don't like pre-flop. Firstly, not shoving or not at least raising. Should have at least raised. Let's consider what would have happened if we just say raised, even just a min raise to 2BB. Then that other player down there probably would have called, or he would have jammed, in which case we would have called. But he probably would have called. Then on the flop, we would have made a continuation bet, and it would be the other guy who's folding his counterfeited low on the flop instead of us. So no matter how you look at it, we played this hand to maximize our chance of not winning any chips. is pretty much the best way of summing it up. Okay, let's move right along. Okay, here we are again a little while later. We've got about 8 blinds in our stack. We've got a hand here. We don't much like it, but we're pretty much, as I said before, we've got to get our chips in. We're not waiting around to blind out. Unfortunately, our player folds. I think I can sort of maybe see why he did this, because this player started off in our training program on sit and goes. Sit and goes reward survival to some extent, and so you do let your stack go down a bit further, but it's really the wrong play here. Let's see what happens in the next hand. Okay, next hand, we're under the gun. Same situation. Our hand is slightly better than the previous one. It's a bit more connected. We've got the deuce 3 for the low. We're about to post more than 10% of our stack in the big blind in the very next hand. So this absolutely needs to be jammed. What does our player do? He folds. Okay, yeah, so what we've seen here is a player being a little bit too timid and basically limping into pots when we should be jamming with smaller stacks, or folding when should be jamming. Anyway, that's another hand review done. If you'd like to know more about what we do here at Teamo8 with coaching players, hand reviews, staking, then check out our website at teamo8.com. Bye for now.